The point that first connected you to life is still controlling your vibrational field. It's not your mind. It's not your thoughts. It's something older, quieter, a forgotten center, yet still pulsing right in the middle of your body. And most people will never notice it. They go on trying to change reality with positive phrases, mental affirmations, advanced techniques, while the true code remains active, far beneath consciousness. You were born through this point. You breathed, received nourishment, vibration, records. Before everything you now believe is you, there was already a flow, shaping who you would become. And here's the detail no one ever told you. That connection didn't end at birth. It only changed form. Today, as you try to heal your blocks, raise your vibration, create new possibilities, you might be ignoring the very center where it all begins. Because while your attention stays on the surface, that quiet point is deciding what comes in, what goes out, and what keeps repeating. You were taught to see the navel as a leftover, a scar with no purpose, just a trace from the past that no longer matters. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The navel is not the end of a connection. It's the beginning of everything. The point where the invisible condensed into form, where your field first aligned with the vibration of existence. That is where consciousness landed. That is where life began to take shape as you. And even now, without you noticing, that point is still working as a portal, channeling frequencies, translating memories, shaping patterns. Taoist traditions call this center the lower Dantian, the cauldron of life. The body's alchemy begins there. In Hermeticism, the body is seen as a reflection of the whole, and the center of the navel represents the 0 point, the singularity where the soul anchors into matter. Thoth wrote, "What is below is like what is above, but before you look up, you must first return within, to the center where spirit met form." The promise is simple, yet powerful. If you learn to reconnect to this forgotten point, you'll tap into a vibration that has been dormant, and everything that felt stuck, manifestation, clarity, security, begins to flow again. This is not just another technique. It's a return to the origin, to the vibrational thread that connects you to the whole, and that still pulses in your body, just waiting for you to feel it. Imagine a temple, not made of stone, not of gold, but a living temple made of flesh, bone, and vibration. In Hermetic traditions, the body was never seen as just a vehicle. It is the altar of manifestation, and its center, the true center, is not in the head, nor in the heart. It is lower down, in the place where the soul anchors, where spirit condenses into matter, the navel. This point was treated with reverence in the mystery schools. Called the center of the inner world, it represented the place where the one touched the many, where the unity of the cosmos turned into embodied form. Thoth, the master of balance between worlds, taught that the macrocosm can only be understood when the microcosm is decoded, and the body is the map. The lower Dantian in Taoist texts is described as the subtle cauldron where Qi is refined, the vital force that connects the human to heaven and earth. This point was not just anatomical, it was alchemical. In ancient Egypt, certain initiates would spend days in silence, with their attention resting in the center of the belly, seeking to reactivate the memory of the moment when spirit dove into matter. This secret was never lost. It was veiled, hidden beneath layers of modern distraction, but it still vibrates inside every human being. Sitting at the center of the body, the navel holds the code of the beginning, and those who learn to decode it begin to manifest with the same power that moves the stars, the seasons, and the rhythms of the universe. What ancient traditions once expressed in symbolic terms modern science is now beginning to confer with precision. Studies in epigenetics show that the intrauterine environment shapes not only biology, but also behavior, emotion, and the individual's patterns of response throughout life. Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist, showed that embryonic cells receive vibrational signals, not only genetic ones, through the amniotic fluid and the umbilical cord. These signals influence gene expression and program how the body will respond to the outside world. Thomas Verney, a psychiatrist and pioneer in prenatal psychology, states that emotional imprints from gestation are recorded in the fetus's nervous system, directly affecting self-esteem, sense of security, and the ability to trust. And where does all this information enter? Through the navel. That point is the gateway for vibrational data. More recently, somatic therapies have rediscovered that consciously touching, breathing into, and moving the abdominal area can unlock pre-verbal memories, memories that influence decisions, patterns, and even illnesses. So what the ancients called the vibrational center, neuroscience today recognizes as a hub of memory and regulation. The point that once connected your body to the outer world still determines how you feel on the inside. And this field can still be accessed with attention, with presence, with awareness. Reconnecting with the point of origin doesn't require complex formulas. What it does require is presence. Not mental presence, but conscious vibration within the body. The center of manifestation has never been in the mind. It lies in the act of feeling. It all begins with attention. Place your hands over your navel, just like that, but with intention. This gesture shifts your awareness back to the point where life began to vibrate in you. Close your eyes and guide your breath there. Don't force it, simply follow. Feel the air flowing down as if responding to an ancient call, and once it arrives, rest your attention there. Stay with it. It may seem small, but codes are being reactivated. When you breathe into the center, something begins to open, as if cellular gateways remember who you were before fear, before urgency, before distraction. From here, begin the cycle of touch. With your fingers around the navel, press gently in circular motions, moving clockwise. This soft friction activates dormant meridians and awakens layers of vibrational memory buried in time. You might feel warmth, tingling, or nothing at all, but something is happening. Because this point, ignored by almost everyone, responds instantly to conscious presence. This is not about believing. It's about feeling and allowing the body, this forgotten temple, to remember the language the spirit once spoke when all was still unity. After activating the center with touch and breath, it's time to awaken the language of the field, not with external words, but with internal frequencies generated by your focus. Visualize a golden spiral spinning in your navel. It is not still, it pulses. Each rotation is a wave that moves through your body and resonates in the subtle field around you. This image is not fantasy. It is a neuro-quantum bridge. The brain does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you visualize with vibrational intention, your biology responds, and so does the field around you. Now, invoke the archetype of origin. Mentally repeat the phrase, "I return to the point where everything began." Repeat it in silence. Not like a mechanical mantra, but like a key turning in the lock of your own matrix. Let the vibration of this phrase fill the spiral. It blends with your image, your breath, your touch. This is the beginning of reprogramming, not forced, not rational, but symbolic, deep, and effective. If thoughts arise, do not resist. They hold no power here. This space belongs to the vibrational silence of creation. Feel the warmth expand from the center into your limbs. See the body not as a shape, but as a field. Every cell is listening. Every pore reopens to the flow that was once interrupted. Continue until you feel a moment of deep silence. There, no words are needed, because it is exactly there that the original code begins to respond. The third and final step is not to do more. It is to allow. Allow the vibration to reorganize the field. Allow the body to remember what the mind has forgotten. Lie down or sit with your spine upright. Gently touch your navel, not to command, but to welcome. This point does not need to be activated with force. It opens with respect. Now bring your awareness to the feeling of belonging. Ask yourself, in silence, when did I feel separated? Do not seek a logical answer. The question is an energetic seed. It works on its own. In this state, allow emerging emotions to come forth. Sometimes it will be sadness, sometimes nothing at all. But whatever comes is being released. This release is not catharsis. It is vibrational alchemy. You are transmuting dormant codes into a conscious frequency of creation. Remain in this process for a few minutes, and in the end, visualize a thread of light emerging from the center of your navel and connecting with a point above your head. This thread is not imaginary. It is what many traditions call the silver cord. It connects the body to the soul, the individual self to the whole that created it. When you finish, give thanks. Not as a ritual, but as someone who recognizes the reunion with a forgotten part of themselves. This practice can be done daily, and each time the vibrational field reorganizes. Manifestation stops being a struggle and becomes a flow. Because when the center begins to pulse again, life begins to respond. No one saw anything wrong with Callan. He was polite, functional, even kind. But on the inside, it was like living in a house with no light. The walls were standing, the furniture in place, but everything was silently empty. It wasn't depression, it was disconnection, as if his soul had forgotten where to anchor. For a long time, he searched through grand ideas. He studied manifestation, neuroplasticity, pineal glands, vibrational techniques. But the more he learned, the more disconnected he felt, as if he was spinning around something he could never touch. Until one night, he came across a forgotten passage from an ancient Taoist text. It said, "All that is heavenly needs a center to rest upon." These words struck him like a calling, and for the first time, he didn't try to understand. He simply lay down in silence, placed his hand on his navel, and breathed there as if asking for permission to return to the point of origin. At first, nothing, but then a subtle memory began to surface. Not a visual memory, but a feeling of being held, supported, as if the body were rediscovering the womb itself. He cried without knowing why, but he knew it was real. For the first time, he felt the center vibrate, and within that center, a phrase, "You were trying to ascend without roots." From that moment on, everything changed. Answers no longer came from the mind, they came from the body. It wasn't about knowing more, it was about returning. Returning to the point where spirit became flesh and creation turned intimate. The greatest block is not doubt, it is haste. The unconscious expectation that the center will reveal itself at the mind's pace. But the navel does not speak the language of anxiety. It vibrates in deep layers where time holds no urgency. And that is why many give up before feeling anything. It didn't work for me. That phrase is born when the mind tries to measure the invisible with an external ruler. But this process is not a spectacle. It is a return. And every return requires pause, silence, surrender. Transmutation begins when you let go of control and allow yourself simply to be, to breathe into the center, to feel the discomfort without rejecting it, to inhabit the emptiness without labeling it. That's when something begins to move, subtle, almost imperceptible, but real. Like a seed sprouting in the dark, making no noise, yet changing everything around it. The key lies in ritual consistency, not as an obligation, but as a sacred reconnection. 5 minutes a day, hands over the center, breath as the thread, presence as the temple, and then the body responds. Not because you demand it, but because it recognizes that, finally, you have returned. Everything you live, feel, and manifest has a quieter origin than you might imagine. It doesn't begin in thought, it isn't born of will, nor grounded in goals. It begins at the center. At that point where the invisible touched matter and chose to become you. Your navel is not a scar from the past. It is a living reminder that you are a bridge between worlds, frequencies, and dimensions. It's not just the gateway of biological life, but the first energetic seal that defines your base vibration. And as long as you keep ignoring this point, you'll be trying to build upon unacknowledged ground. But when you return, when you breathe into it, when you rest your awareness on this forgotten center, you activate something that has only been waiting for you. And reality begins to align, not because you forced it, but because you remembered. You remembered the origin. You remembered the thread. You remembered that the body is not a spiritual obstacle, but the very expression of spirit. What has been taught here is not theory. It is practice. It is reconnection. It is the chance to anchor your existence in a point where truth needs no words. The philosopher Plotinus wrote, "To descend to the root of existence is to rediscover the point where the soul touches the eternal." Today, you crossed the threshold of the invisible. You touched the point where the cosmos becomes flesh, and that contact changes everything, even in silence. Do not return to the surface as if nothing happened. Carry this vibration as an internal pact, a sacred thread that anchors you in what is real. Because the one who returns to the center does not merely reconnect, they are reborn. And one who is reborn with awareness no longer walks in the dark. They manifest, they pulse, they remember who they are. If this journey touched something in you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That keeps this vibrational field in motion and brings us even closer. I want to know, what did you feel when you returned to the point that created you? Write in the comments. My navel is the portal of my conscious creation. This affirmation vibrates like a seal and anchors your presence in the now. Share this video with someone who needs to remember that there is a silent code in the body, waiting to be reactivated. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformative video from the Transcend channel, because those who honor the navel as the origin awaken their own power to create worlds.